Have you been thinking about potentially buying your first investment property or next and hiring property management? Well, I'm here to tell you if you're still in the beginning stages of your investment portfolio, that may be a real bad idea. Why? Well, we're going to talk about that right now. What's going on, guys? My name's Lior, and I'm a real estate investor out of Boston. And in this video, like I said, we're going to be talking about why I think it's a bad idea to potentially think about hiring a property management company on your first or early part on your first investment or your early part of your investment portfolio. Now, before I get into it, two quick things. Number one, if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe. I put out tons of new videos every single week. And number two, if you guys are out there deal hunting and need a good cash flow analyzer tool, look at the description below. I have a free one that I give away. Click that, download it, and use that to analyze your deals. You've got to be really good at deal analysis in order to buy your investment property. So let's get into today's content. And the reason I decided to do this video is I get so many calls from different investors, especially ones that are just starting out, that tell me, hey, what do is it all right if I'm going to go hire a property management company on my first investment property? And here's the deal. First of all, I'm going to assume on your first investment property, you're not out there buying 15, 20, 25 plus units, right? You're probably, like most of us, are going to be buying your first one like a condo, maybe a 2-family or 3-family. So many of you guys reach out just thinking like, yeah, I'm going to put a property management company and then I won't have to deal with working with the tenants, figuring, doing all the operations and all that stuff. I'm just going to go out, give it to someone and kick my feet up and not even worry about that. Let's talk about 3 reasons why I think that's actually a bad idea for you to even think about trying to put a property management company on your first investment property. Number 1, even if you were actually going to do it, you won't learn the actual management and operation side of the business, right? The only way to really learn is by doing something, and that's typically very true in real estate. So if you hire that out, you won't learn what goes into it, what are the common issues, what are common things that come up. And the issue with that is you won't be able to gut check whether your management company is doing something correctly or not, right? Because you won't have that experience to really back on to say, you know what, that doesn't actually sound right to me. This is usually how I've handled it in the past. Or if your property management company is not doing it the right way, or they're maybe not as responsive as it should be, it'll be a lot easier for you to actually know that if you've been through that process yourself. Now, I've done other videos where I've talked about how intense is it really to manage like one or a couple of units. In a nutshell, it's not that intense, right? Once your property's leased out, even if you're a working professional and you're working, you've got a corporate job or you've got another business you're running, having a couple of rental properties is not going to take that much time once they're leased up and stabilized. So the point here is you should really prepare on spending a little time yourself being the property manager so that you can learn what goes into it, right? And then eventually, once you actually learn and understand, at some point down the line, you can think about hiring a management company. Now, number 2 issue, which I think is a really big issue, is if you're buying your first property, and again, whatever it is, whether a condo, 2-family, 3-family, you're not really going to be able to get a good property management company. And here's what I mean by that. A good property management company, for them, taking up a unit or a 2-unit, 3-unit building, it's not really that much money for them, right? Property management companies make money at scale, right? So typically, your best property management companies, at least the ones that, really do the best job, they're the ones managing the big portfolios or big apartment buildings, right? So that's why I said, unless you're buying a 25 or 30 unit right off the bat, it's unlikely you're going to be able to attract and call up the best management company and say, hey, come take this off my plate. You're probably going to be dealing with a smaller local mom and pop shop that, manages some units around, but you're probably not going to be able to get the best management company. And issue number 3 that I want to bring up, a lot of people kind of have this pipe dream that, hey, you know what? once I hire the property management company, I really don't, I can kind of put this on the back burner. I won't really have to deal with this unit at all. It'll just kind of be on autopilot. And the reality is that's not really true either, right? Because even once you have a property manager and you hire someone and you pay them, you still have to manage the manager. It's a similar concept as when we hire general contractor, right? Like you could hire a general contractor, and yeah, that general contractor technically is supposed to lead the show and do the entire and manage the entire renovation. But if you don't manage that general contractor, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So it's the same concept with property manager. If you think you're just going to kick your feet or put this on your, put this at the very back of your mind, once you hire that property manager, that's not the reality. You are still going to have to spend time managing the property manager, right? Making sure they're still performing, doing a good job, getting you honest bids on the contractor side for any repair work. So it's still going to be some activity involved. So between those three things, you won't be learning about the actual management business. You're not going to be able to get the best management company, and you're still going to have to do some sort of management work. Between all of those things, that's why I tell newer investors not to really think about trying to get a management company on their first property. Get in there, learn, figure it out, and as you continue to expand your portfolio, right, and you continue to grow and have multiple properties, or you're going to buy one large building, right, that's when I think is the real appropriate time to really consider putting a property management company in place to manage your units. And again, guys, property management is not rocket science, right? If you are in that position, like I said, where you're in a corporate job or you've got other businesses you run, once you actually put a couple of systems in place, it really should not be taking that much time. You'll have, as you get going, you'll figure out a good system of how tenants can communicate with you, how they can put in work orders, and once that's going, it really should not take up that much time. But again, as you scale up and you have more properties, more units to give to, that's when you should, I believe, consider potentially bringing in a third-party management company.